So this is the Humanist report. TikTokers and Redditors weaponize anti-woke app to boycott pro-Trump businesses. I didn't even know about this app. Apparently, Don Jr. has an app that he's created, and TikTokers are trolling him. Later, Luck. Good luck with your girlfriend.
Thank you, Public Square, for making it so easy to find an adorable little French cafe to go on a date. We are so glad to support businesses that align with our values and that celebrate the freedom that America was built on.
What's up, kids?
Okay.
So I got some interesting information today. Apparently, there is a website out there dedicated to MAGA small business.
Uh-oh.
It's called publicsquare.com.
Uh-oh.
Yes, all these MAGA businesses can sign up, and you can find all their locations on a map provided on the website. I'm thinking? I think we take this information and use it in a different way, like businesses not to shop at.
That's solid.
So even though conservatives have been
as
putting
bad as I
us
thought
through
he was gonna
hell
be.
on a daily basis in this country for decades now, I've got to admit that sometimes their stupidity can
up,
be a
Nathan?
blessing in disguise. And I say
up,
that
Danny?
because they inadvertently handed people on the left a really nice gift without even realizing it. What do I mean? So anti-fascists
What up,
are
Golf?
catching on to
What
a
up,
tool
Cheyenne?
that right-wingers have been using for years now to support supposed anti-woke businesses in their communities. But instead of creating a map of so-called woke businesses to avoid,
Yeah, that is such a bad idea. Oh my God, that's such a bad idea. Guys, Donald Trump's approval rating is in the fucking toilet. This is not the fucking peak time to be advertising that you are, pro-MAGA. Okay, first of all, most businesses, if you're smart, you're not talking politics, period. Okay? That is do not touch territory. If you are a business, you open your doors to any and all people, and you hope that you never get drug into a political conversation in your business life, right? So first of all, bad fucking idea there, okay? Second, this is like the worst time to do that. I mean, if you were going to do something like this, you go at like peak popularity. He has the worst approval rating any president has had in 80 years. Is that Franklin Pierce? How far was that? No, that's 1940. Who was president? Truman? 40? No. Somebody help me out with that one. I got to Google it. I don't want to Google it. I can't push any more buttons.
the app in question compiled a database of pro-Trump businesses to
Schumer, send him a
support.
strongly worded
The app
email.
is not really being used in the way that its creators intended. So if you go to publicsquare.com, you can enter in your zip code and immediately see a list of pro-Trump
Pinker, I'm with
businesses
you.
in
That
your
guy did something
area.
kind of insane.
And you can effectively
Everybody's
choose
losing
to
it now.
avoid these businesses now that you know that they are pro-Trump. And this platform reportedly has more than 50,000 pro-Trump businesses in its database.
do not talk about politics
so
at work.
through word
Bad
of
idea.
mouth on TikTok, Reddit, Facebook, and Instagram, the app is gaining popularity among people on the left and also liberals because of how useful it is to them, because now they know which businesses support fascism and thus know which businesses they should avoid. And the app has...
Dude, they're gonna start touting how many downloads they've gotten. They're gonna be like, our app got more downloads than Facebook and Instagram, and they're not even gonna know why. Oh my God.
It's blown up to the point where some businesses registered with Public Square are now publicly distancing themselves from the app.
Oh no! Oh, dog. Can you imagine that? Your business ends up on that, and you're like, nope, disavow. I'm currently playing
Seattle
Civ 6.
TikToker.
So apparently, a liberal newspaper a few days before I posted my video had called these businesses out by name that I
What up,
also
DIY?
saw. And this is the Facebook post from Barolo, which is a restaurant downtown, saying, "Oh no, we don't. We didn't. We definitely don't support this. We don't know how this happened." Like, here they are up here. It says, "This is not a MAGA supporting business." Cool, wonderful. We love hearing it, right? Like, even if we scared you back into the woodwork, we love hearing it. But here's the thing: we went and we looked at the website.
Uh-oh.
So you have to apply.
Oh
You have to
no.
apply. So like do this. So somebody went in there, put in information. We did not look at the application because we're not going to go in there and put in a bunch of information just to like gather data for these people. But they have to go in and apply. So did you apply? Who applied? Who was it?
No.
Tell me.
Dude, you know that right now, you know that if that's a small family business, you know somebody's looking around at each other. They're like, did you do it? Was that Bob? Bob, did you register us on the app? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, Bob, tell me right fucking now. Did you register our business on the MAGA app? Bob, we know you have tons of Trump merchandise. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Essentially just refuse to believe that this is just a disgruntled employee being like, I'm going to put you on a MAGA serving website to get back.
Hey,
I
had a good real estate agent.
Really smart.
Okay.
But don't do it.
She was
That's
really
bad.
nice.
So their response is basically, oh, gee golly, we have no idea how we ended up on this MAGA supporting website. We're not Trump supporters. That's not us. But that's not true. They're lying because, as he explained,
Bucket.
you have to register your business to get on Public Square, and Public Square vets the companies that apply to ensure that these companies align with and adhere to their conservative principles.
No.
So while it's possible that a disgruntled employee could theoretically register their owner's business to burn their boss, there seemingly has to be specific criteria that needs to
new troll dropped.
be met in order to make it on Public Square's database. As HuffPost explains, its website, which bills itself as the anti-woke online marketplace, is a hub of tens of thousands of
I smell a divorce, Pinkerbell.
businesses nationwide that want people to know they align with MAGA views and oppose so-called progressive priorities like women's reproductive rights and diversity initiatives. In order to list your business on the website, you first have to confirm that you will respect the core values of Public Square and agree to not support causes that are in direct conflict with our core values.
What?
Now, I'm not privy to the ways that they gauge how conservative a company is, but HuffPost spoke to a man using Jeff as a pseudonym who found out about Public Square from a bank that he worked at in California, whose lenders were huge MAGA chuds, and they instructed him to try to get their bank on Public Square. And through that, Jeff learned about the process, and while he doesn't know if the bank ever managed to make it on their database, he says that the businesses who are on Public Square are not there by accident. If they're there on purpose. And the reason why they won't just allow anyone on the app is because its owners are actual Trump Kool-Aid drinkers. The Stranger reports, Public Square was started up in San Diego in 2021 by Michael Seifert, hardcore Christian fundamentalist and alum of the sometimes accredited Liberty University. That's the one founded by Jerry Falwell, as a right-wing, values-driven alternative to Amazon. Now, HuffPost adds, the company, which officially launched in 2022, has direct connections to Trump too. Its board of directors includes Donald Trump Jr., who is also an investor.
Like, this is totally nope, nothing to do with MAGA, guys. Nothing to do with MAGA. We just are connected at like a 99% rate with everybody that's MAGA. Totally not MAGA. Fan, 10 memberships. I was just saying you guys did a good job already. Thank you so much, fan. Dude, Shin got one. Danny! Congrats, Danny! Congrats! Yeah, and 6 months, fan. That's support. Most people can't stand, okay? Most people cannot stand me for 6 months. And you've been here for 6 months. I appreciate you, fan. Thank you for the 10 memberships. Thank you. Got a full 10. Oh, you're talking about the memberships. But you have been here 6 months, right? Yeah, I think so.
Kelly Loeffler, President Trump's administrator of the Small Business Administration, also was on the board until she was confirmed to her current post in February. So we're talking about some of the biggest names in the Chudoverse. The MAGA cinematic universe. So, I mean, if a business has their blessing, I think it's safe to say that it's not a fluke, which is going to be something to look out for, because now that more people are using the app to boycott, more businesses are going to become a little bit savvier and feign ignorance once they start to lose money, or to stop themselves from losing money. But just know that they're lying. But I mean, these businesses won't be the only ones losing money due to a boycott.
Let's be honest, though. MAGA supporters have been denying they have been on apps like this entire time. Look, we all know about Grindr, okay? We all know about how Grindr crashed in like Milwaukee or whatever it was when the Republican fucking convention was there. Look, we know, okay? We know y'all like these apps. Stop denying it. Stop denying the apps. You guys love the apps.
because according to HuffPost, Public Square makes commission off of transactions at these businesses, assuming that they sell their merchandise through their online store. So if the app becomes big enough and enough of the companies in their registry are boycotted, they lose money too. Public Square directly loses money because of these boycotts.
Sweet.
And I'd love to be a fly on the wall in their boardroom meetings now, because now that the word is...
They're like, fuck, they found us out. Who would have known these liberals know how to use the phone?
out about the usefulness of this app to anti-fascists, they've got to be panicking. I mean, if you search Public Square on Reddit, there's so many posts about it in different subreddits for cities and states, including Alaska, Portland, Denver, Nashville, Bend, Charlottesville, Cleveland. It's also mentioned in a lot of liberal and left-leaning subreddits like 5051, Leopards Ate My Face, and even the Joe Rogan subreddit, which has basically been taken over by ex-fans who don't like his right-wing pivot. And on the App Store, the glowing reviews are mostly coming from anti-fascists. At least the more recent reviews are. For example, this person gave it a 5-star review, writing, "I love how simple and easy this app is to use to find local businesses that I and all of my companions need to boycott. I've already found a handful of businesses I wouldn't have expected that I now will never go to again. I can't say anything for the store functionality of this app because I will never ever use it." This person gives it 5 stars as well.
Hold on. We gotta go back. Fan says, I might have been here 6 months, but it's kind of hard to tell in Trump time. Each day feels like 10 years of listening to Rush Limbaugh when Trump is president. Yeah, I feel that, Fan. I feel that. You know how presidents age while they're in office? This is the opposite. When people would say, they'd go, Joe Rogan would go, isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy? Have you done DMT? Isn't it crazy how when Obama was in office, he aged like so much? Isn't it crazy how when George Bush Jr. was in office, he aged so much? But then Donald Trump, when he was in office, he didn't age like at all. Yeah, motherfucker, that's because he was golfing the whole time. You know who aged like 30 fucking years during Donald Trump's presidency? We did! Donald Trump didn't age a fucking day because the American populace was taking the brunt of his bullshit. We aged like 40 fucking years in the last 100 days. Shit, the people that follow him are aging at an obscene rate. And they're just like, nah, it's good. Yeah, no, it's actually really good. I look older? No, I don't feel older. I feel great. I've got to take a nap. Dude, I'm still waiting for alcohol sales to spike. Okay? Because alcohol sales actually went down after COVID because all of you bastards were out there just drinking up all the beer. I definitely wasn't. That wasn't me. That was you guys. 100%. Okay? But alcohol sales definitely spiked during COVID and then completely fell off a cliff afterwards. I'm waiting for the next spike now. I'm just waiting for just hard alcohol, wine, anything over 13% to just go through the roof. Now, when the tariffs hit and my tequila becomes $47 a bottle for some fucking Cuervo, that's my line, guys. When the Cuervo, when the cheap shit hits $47, we are going to have an issue. All right, we got to go back to this one. All right, hold on.
Saying, great act that
I want to get these reviews
at least the more recent reviews are. For example, this person gave it a 5-star review, writing, "I love how simple and easy this app is to use to find local businesses that I and all of my companions need to boycott. I've already found a handful of businesses I wouldn't have expected that I now will never go to again. I can't say anything for the store functionality of this app because I will never ever use it." This person gives it 5 stars as well, saying, "Great app that is easy to find out what businesses support kidnapping citizens to concentration camps, cutting cancer research, destroying the economy, pushing disinformation, and cutting social services for people who pay for them out of their taxes. Thank you for helping us spread awareness to avoid these corrupt..."
You gotta admit, too. Look, I was telling my wife this the other night. One of the funny things about me trolling MAGA supporters on Twitter is when I get on Twitter, which is not very often, it's only to message my buddy Ben or Wick or one of these guys that I'm trying to talk to that only use X for messaging. And I'll see something. Like I saw the Saquon Barkley, right? I saw the Saquon Barkley tweet where he was like, "Hey guys, I just went and hung out with the president. I don't know why people are so mad." And I posted on there because I don't think that Saquon's a bad dude. I think he's a young dude. I think he possibly has some CTE. Love you, Saquon. But I put Saquon, they're not mad at you for hanging out with the president. They're mad at you because you, in a very, dumb way, are supporting a person that is ripping people off the street and not giving them due process before he deports them, ending in certain people that 100% shouldn't be being deported, being deported. And of course, that got some MAGA trolls on it. And just like our good friend X, when he joined up first, and they can't complete full sentences. They have absolute fucked all grammar. It's terrible. It's sometimes incredibly hard to determine what the hell they're saying. And so, they jump on there and I go back and forth with them. And generally, after a while, they've had enough of me and they leave, right? After I've called them, the little dick that couldn't, things like that. Tell them about what one guy said, I hope your mouth finds a trigger. And I said, your mom found my trigger and now it's all over her face. This is how I handle the trolls, right? But one thing I have to say is when you see liberal trolls, look at that shit. It's like a full-on dissertation about why I dislike you. It's very well made. Very well made. MAGA trolls are just like, you're stupid, liberals violent. That's like it. And it's NPC shit. There's no thought, there's no creativity, no wordplay, no innuendo. It's just bare basic, fuck you, you suck, you're a liberal. Cry more. It's not even that good. I actually did a better job. You got to give it to the liberal trolls. They do a good job.
Disgraceful. Cutting cancer research, destroying the economy, pushing disinformation, and cutting social services for people who pay for them out of their taxes. Thank you for helping us spread awareness to avoid these corrupt, disgraceful businesses pushed by our malignant authoritarian regime. So, needless to say, if the app continues to grow for this specific reason, it could become a victim of its own success, ironically, because even though people are using it, they're using it in a way that will lead to its inevitable demise at some point if this continues. Because if these businesses no longer want to be associated with this app and they pull their products off of their store, I mean, then Public Square loses commission and the app itself goes bye-bye. But I hope it does stay open for a little bit while longer at least, because it's actually very useful. And I'm happy to find out about all the fascist businesses in my community. I'm not necessarily surprised by how many they are. Nonetheless, they're there and I will be avoiding them thanks to this app. Thanks, Public Square. But I mean,
Thanks, Public Square. Thanks, Public Square. Reverend, when the dude said, he's like, yeah, the liberals are the ones causing all the violence. I was like, it's Schrodinger's liberal. It's like, you both claim that liberals are out like, destroying America and like they're violent and they're rioting, they're terrible people, but also at the same time they're pussies. Like, which one is it, dog? Like, can we stay on one fucking thought path? Are blue-haired liberals out like, beating up cops? Like, every time you bring up the January 6th thing and you're like, hey, how many police officers lost their life either directly or indirectly from January 6th? Can you not agree that that's a bad thing? And they'll make up a ton of excuses. No, like, those guys didn't even die there. Oh, he had a heart attack? He had a heart attack? What, that's their fault? Yeah, motherfucker, that's directly related. It turns out that if you have a heart condition or just fucking, drink a couple too many beers every night and someone starts beating you over the head with a flagpole while the fucking mob tries to take you down, having a heart attack is directly related to that violence. It's crazy. They just but at the same time, just like the same thing, they'll say, well, how many of those blue-haired liberals got arrested during the George Floyd riots? Oh, 14,000, actually. Over 14,000 rioters were arrested during the George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter riots. 14,000. That's about 10 times the amount of people that got arrested for January 6th. 10 times. It's like, can we just be fucking consistent in what we're complaining about? Some logic? Look, when I troll, I want you to understand this, Troy Scott. When I troll, I still use facts. I still use statistics. I just troll in a way that says, if you want the smoke, I'm here for it. I just had 3 glasses of tequila and I got about 45 minutes to spend.
I want to share one more TikTok from the user who helped to spread
many
the
have blue
word
hair?
about Public
Like,
Square. He's going to explain how this isn't necessarily a new phenomenon, specifically the tactic that conservatives are pulling off.
Public Square is basically the Green Book, but for conservatives. The Green Book was a book passed around black communities that was a list of stores and businesses that were safe for black people to use. Public Square is the same thing for conservatives. It is a website that conservatives will register their business on to show that they are anti-woke, pro-conservative, and especially pro-life. Oh, if you're like me, you'll search that and find that there are local businesses in your community that you will never shop at again. I just found out that the game store that I've been attending weekly for the past decade is a registered business on Public Square.
Oh, they just lost some
business. Be aware of the Public Square.
So to give you some additional context, the Green Book was used during Jim Crow to help black Americans avoid racist businesses when they traveled because they needed to know where it was safe to get gas and groceries when they left their town, so that way they wouldn't unnecessarily put their families in harm's way. Exactly. It was a necessity because of racism. But as that TikToker explained, conservatives created their own version of Green Book as if they're victims, when in actuality, they are the victimizers.
Stay away from that 100%.
And if they were alive during Jim Crow, black Americans would need a Green Book to avoid people like them who think they need their own Green Book. So it's especially gross that conservatives are appropriating a piece of black history to profit off of their victim complex. But hey, it goes both ways, right? So if they're going to appropriate black history, we can appropriate their appropriation and weaponize it against them. So in the end, I would encourage you to use Public Square because I think you might be surprised, or maybe not, with how many businesses in your community are paying fealty to a fascist cult leader. With that being said, if you are going to use this app or the website, reject their cookies and don't let the app track your location. I think the safest way to do it is to use a private browser or browse in incognito mode. Just don't let them track your shit. Either way, look, knowledge is power. And if fascists are giving us a free tool to boycott them, I think it'd be rude to not accept the gift that they're giving us. So have fun.
Have fun.
Woke mob.
Oh, Jesus.
Woke mob.
What a strange time to be alive. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And check out that video on the screen now.